Would you rather coach basketball or play basketball, and why?
Well, I'd rather play, but I'm not able to play. So I don't really have much of a choice. Both of them are very, very enjoyable. And yeah, but I had a lot of fun playing when I was growing up, when I was a kid, played it all the time. But those days are long gone. Good question.
If you couldn't coach basketball, what else would you do?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I'd like to write, maybe be an author, but maybe I'll have the opportunity to do that someday when I'm done coaching. Thank you.
Chris, on Saturday, your point guard's 7 assists, 0 turnovers, but Florida State's kind of a different animal in that regard. How are they able to turn teams over as frequently as they do?
I think it, comes down to a few factors. Got excellent, athletic, long, athletes on the floor that, play a style that's all over the court, 94 feet. They don't let you catch the ball where you want. They switch every screen, both on and off the ball, which is a little different from in years past. And, Leonard's teams just over the years have played extremely hard on the defensive end. And, players change, names change, faces change, but the identity doesn't. And that's something that I think when you think about Florida State, you think about a team that presses, that denies, that, tries to rattle the opponent. So we're going to have to do a better job than most teams have done tomorrow if we want to be successful.
Chris, based on Kimball's play against Kentucky, you see his role becoming any bigger, or are you going to tweak it some, or what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I thought he stepped up. I thought he had his best game of the year, and no doubt the toughest environment that we played. It's what you come to expect from a guy who's been in college basketball for 5 years. So, it was really good to see. I thought he was as good as he was on the offensive end. I think people tend to sort of point to an offensive performance, but I thought he was equally as aggressive and as effective on the defensive end. He's by and large been that way the entire year. So, I do think that, we have even more confidence than we've had in him in the past, and I think he's earned that. And so I can see his role expanding, but we still have other, talented guards that I want to keep on the floor as well.
How's the week away after the game been for you all? Did the loss kind of motivate you all, do you feel like, or just how have things been?
Business as usual. We have to get better. That wouldn't be any different from, the first week after we played Miami of Florida in week 1. We were disappointed with the loss. We have to learn from it like we have to learn from wins. We felt like the game, was right there for the taking, but you give, Kentucky all the credit in the world for being able to make plays down the stretch that we didn't. And, it's a long season. We have to learn from it. And I think we've had a really good week of practice. And so hopefully we become a better team here in these last 5 days.
Chris, with as competitive as it is all over the country, and especially in this league, how important are home games and to take care of business? Obviously you want to win them all, but to take care of business on your home floor.
We play a lot of games away from our home floor, but we have to take care of business. Regardless of who the opponent is, regardless of where the venue is, we got to get back in the win column. And it's no easy task when you face the top 25 team in Florida State. But I'd love to have the Yum Center rocking tomorrow and making it a great environment for our team. I think our guys have worked really hard this year, put a special team together, and we're looking forward to getting out in front of our fans tomorrow.
Do you see any difference this year in the ACC overall, they've always been one of the top leagues in the country. This year, the NCAA has them ranked fourth, and 4 teams in the top 25 instead of the usual 6 or 7. But your thoughts on the ACC, I guess?
Well, our league lost a lot, of players, from last year to this year. I think Jordan and Mooney were the only 2 guys that received any type of accolades when it came to all ACC honors. So it's a new league. But I think just like with, freshmen and younger players, they get better through game experience. They get better as the season goes on. And so I think you're going to find that a lot of teams are going to play better basketball in our league as the year goes on. And make no mistake, we still have teams in this conference that can win a national championship, and teams that have the sights set for that. So I can't worry about the rest of the league. I really haven't delved into it enough. I mean, I've only looked at the teams that we've played. I mean, I see a score here or there or a game in the background, but the only, really 3 teams that I've focused on have been Miami, Pittsburgh, and Florida State to this point. So I really am not the, authoritarian when it comes to, what other teams look like in our league.
Other questions from anyone?
Wara obviously didn't have a good game. Did Kentucky defend him any differently than anybody else, or what do you attribute that to?
No, I think Jordan settled. I think he's got to figure out ways to affect the game, other than scoring the ball. When his shot isn't falling, and he missed some easy ones that he normally makes, and I think he pressed beyond that. But when his shot isn't falling or things aren't going his way on the offensive end, I think great players find ways to affect the game, to affect winning. And unfortunately, he didn't do that last Saturday. And so, it's something that, we've been, coaching Jordan on ever since I got here. And, if he could do it already, then he wouldn't need a coach. And so, everybody on our team, has strengths and weaknesses. And Jordan sometimes defines himself or lets his scoring affect, who he is in other areas. And he's grown so much in other areas that we need him to affect the game in other ways. He needs to be able to make winning plays, and not just being on a team that wins, but make plays that affect winning. And I think he's taken a large step forward this week in practice. When you have a game like he did, probably get served a little bit of humility, and that's always a good thing if you learn from it. But he's a high-character kid. He's a terrific player and a great scorer, and I'm confident he's going to become better because of the experience he had last Saturday.
If you were to become an author, what genre would you lean toward?
I don't know. They say that you should write about things you really know, but I think by the time I hang it up, I'd never talk about or write about basketball. I'd be too played out. I'd have to figure something else out.
Coach, your football coaching strategy was kind of borne out and validated on Monday night. There's an open position at Mississippi State. Are you eyeing that at all?
No, my knowledge of football and football plays is very elementary, as you can see.
Anything else? Thank you all.
Thanks.